literally dozens of white Australians would come up to me and be like, wow, like, congratulations, you don't speak English with an accent. I was born in China and I immigrated to Australia when I was 7, didn't know a word of English, and spent, I feel like, my early years, my teens, really trying to just fit in as much as possible and to feel like I was Australian. But in order to do that, I had to try and forget and erase my Asian side as much as possible. But I soon very quickly realized that even if I spoke perfect English and dressed a certain way, when people saw my face, it didn't matter because my face always gave away that I wasn't white. Fuck, wouldn't life just be easier if I was white? Kind of came from that. I got a job at Target. That was my first job when I was 14 and 9 months. Every weekend when I worked at Target, dozens, literally dozens of white Australians would come up to me and be like, wow, like, congratulations, you don't speak English with an accent, or like, where are you really from? And just all of those questions and statements that again, just really reminded me that it didn't really matter how hard I tried to fit in. My face was always the thing that was going to give it away. I mean, I knew pretty early, but it honestly wasn't something I really talked about until there was a spa shooting in 2021 in Atlanta where a bunch of Asian American female spa workers were killed. After reading about that, I wrote Instagram posts and, just really talked about my experiences and talked about how I saw myself and the difficulties of being a person of color and the types of racism I've experienced throughout my life. And so many people I knew from high school, from university, from AFI, the American Film Institute, and from just people around me, DM'd me or texted me and told me they felt the exact same way, but were never able to really talk about it, or, always thought it, but never was able to express it. By that point, I'd already started coming up with this idea for the film, but it just reinforced this is really a very universal experience. And even if it's not about race that you want to change about yourself, I feel like everybody have different types of insecurities, and that's something that I think people can relate to, and that's what this film also speaks to. I want people to confront their own feelings of insecurities because I feel like it took me a long time, and if I had seen a movie like this when I was in my 20s or even when I was in my teens, I would have, I think, confronted those feelings earlier and maybe been able to work through them quicker and earlier. So that's ultimately what I want. I want people to watch this film to feel seen, for the people who relate, and for them to be able to hopefully work through their own issues and feelings of not being good enough or not being pretty enough. But then also for people who maybe didn't have the same upbringing that we both had. I mean, for the white people who watch the film, right? For them to see this experience represented and to find understanding and to have empathy for a very large group of people, Asian, Black, Latino, whatever, who unfortunately did undergo feelings of inadequacy and shame, and know that that experience exists, what it looks like. I mean, with Shirley, I'd always been such a huge fan of hers, from her early days. She did a great short film called Krista that always really stuck with me. And I think she's very, very intuitive. She's very reactive and in the moment and so thoughtful. And I think she brought so much of Jones's inner life outwards because of that. For McKenna, I think she's such a skilled performer. She really had the difficult job of convincing the audience that she was the same person as this Chinese girl. And I think she fucking killed it. And so the amount of work she put into that, the physicalities, even though she's not an Asian girl, she shared a lot of really intimate things about herself and her own insecurities. And it really reminded me of, each person's insecurities are very different. Like, a person might be insecure about their sexuality. Maybe a person's insecure about their weight or whatever it is. With Maitreyi, so one of the best scenes, I think, in the film is when she's having her fight with McKenna by the lockers in the school. And she asks, if you did this surgery, does this mean you think I'm ugly too? It's such a powerful moment and line. And that was all my tree. It wasn't in the script. And when I had a Zoom with her in pre-production, she said, I think if this happened to me and my best friend did this, I would question how she perceived me and how she saw me. And, I put it into script thanks to her, and has made the film infinitely better because of it. I think self-love is all about accepting yourself, the good and the bad, to try and stay away from judgment, because I think every person is trying to be the best that they can and do the best they can, and to give yourself grace. I don't think there's one thing I could say to 16-year-old Amy that could have convinced her to love herself and to not want to be white because of what society was telling her, because of beauty standards, right, of all of it. But I think I would tell her, as much as you can, look within yourself and accept the things that make you different, because that's really your superpower. And know that uniqueness is the best thing anybody could ever have, is to be unique and not follow the trend or do what everybody else is doing. Because I think in all facets of life, like especially in the arts, it's your uniqueness that gets seen, and it's your uniqueness and your unique point of view that stands out from the crowd and makes you special. So embrace that.